Welcome to the Hockey Pools is Tired Fantasy Podcast, Week 1. So welcome everyone. We're going to give our opinions this week on the matchups that we're about to see. Before we get started, we're just going to do a quick review of what the Sankey is this week.
Week 1 Sankey is always quarterback related, and this week you have to have 15 points by your quarterback or you get a Sankey. As of this recording on Saturday, Larry already has a Sankey after Tom Brady's lackluster season premiere.
Perfect, thanks. We'll also start by reviewing the Thursday night game.
Sure. First of all, just good to have football back. I mean, it's been football off season is just too long. Glad to have it back.
Yeah, I mean, John and I have had to talk to each other for the last 9 months on Sundays. It's kind of annoying.
I know, it's really bad. So
okay, I'm ready to not speak to my husband all day on Sundays.
That's nice talk. But making it doubly good was the Patriots lost. So
unbelievable, too. I mean, I thought they were going to kill the Chiefs, and then even in the first half, they kind of looked like they were going to kill the Chiefs.
Very early, and then that Gronk missed catch made a big turning point, and then New England could have really even taken big leads if they made some fourth downs, and just kind of a mess for them, and Brady looked poor.
And let's be honest here, Dwayne Allen's never going to see another pass, is he?
He'll never play again. He'll never play again. Gronk would have to be very hurt for him to get that much action.
Yeah, and then you know what? They also looked like they were missing Edelman. They really couldn't get. I mean, we sort of mock Edelman, and I had him last year as a fantasy option, and he wasn't particularly productive. I think he had like 2 touchdowns, but he's clearly more of a linchpin than we thought. Brady didn't look comfortable throwing to Hogan. He didn't look comfortable. Cooks had a couple of good catches.
And Amendola was good until he got concussed, and
he's the Amendola way.
And Evan used a waiver pick to pick him up, didn't play him, and now he's concussed. So
yeah, that's confusing.
Evan goes to the bottom on the waiver picks, so that's not so great. The side of the ball, of course, nobody has Alex Smith. He must have had over 30 points, and then huge days for Bantu with Tyreek Hill, and then he also had all the New England touchdowns. So he's really looking, again, Evan had a very bad night. 45 points against, and his waiver pickup got concussed. But the big news in that game, of course, was rookie Kareem Hunt comes in with 40.6 points. Best fantasy game, best first game for a running back in NFL history. He was unbelievable. Kansas City offense looked very good. They actually kind of tried to blow it a couple times. Alex Smith didn't really make any mistakes, but he, as for a 350-yard passing game, it was pretty unimpressive. And yet, for Alex Smith, so it's his only 6th game passing over 300 yards.
I know, and I think it's his second 4-touchdown game of his career. Or first, I don't remember, but it was something crazy like that.
Considering he's played a long time, and it's pretty. He's a game manager. That's always the rap. So,
well, yes, but Scott Anderson's love for him never ceases.
Well,
so
we don't talk of former champions that don't have the courage to play anymore.
Oh, a bird on Scott there.
And then moving on, the big news before the matchups is Zeke Elliott. Looks like he's ready to play all year.
I don't know. I was reading something in the Bleacher Report today, and they're saying that it's still possible that the judge there, Massant in Texas, can still dismiss the case. If he dismisses the case, it goes automatically to the pending one in the NFL has in New York. Doesn't mean that it would really affect it. Zeke's likely to play all year.
Yeah, it's like Brady was.
It's going to be very similar. Yeah, it's very similar. And then they're probably going to end up. He's probably going to play all season, but probably miss some games next year too.
So Alain's the big winner there because he scooped Zeke up in the 2nd round. I'm the somewhat of a loser. I took McFadden in the 8th round. I've already dropped him and taken a roll of the dice on another running back. So I could have had Jeremy Hill or people like that, somebody that might contribute. Now I just gave McFadden up for nothing. So that's a bit of a sting and a nice win for Alain there because getting Zeke at that value is pretty nice. So things look up for him. All right, should we look at the matchups? Do you want to start with your matchup first?
Sure. Okay, so let's have a look here first and
You
foremost.
play Huddles, Jonathan
Yeah,
Tessier,
yeah.
the
So right now
perennial
I'm
all-star.
projected to win by 56%. Not a huge margin. I projected for 91 points. He's projected for 83. And the big thing for him is that he did play the New England defense, generally usually a pretty solid defense, but this time around they only produced 1 point instead of their projected 6.9. So
I like your
um,
chances right here because both Cam and Odell, I think they're both probably going to play, but they're banged up. And then you're all healthy on your line, and then you've got some nice matchups. I think Peterson will have a good game. That he's going to want to show off in Minnesota for sure. They're going to feed him the ball. Gurley and Miller are going to be good picks this week, and I think there's going to be a lot of points in that Green Bay game. And you've got Russell Wilson.
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't get to play my first round pick, as is my first round pick curse. Last year was Gronkowski, and I had the same problem. This year it's Evans and it's Irma who's causing me to have to bench him because game's delayed. So I'm hoping that my man Eric Decker can come through with me as my number 2 receiver. In terms of huddles here, I like his team, but I'm not sure about the running back situation that he's
Well, he's
got
got
going
Fournette on the
on.
bench, so he's giving a lot of respect to that Houston defense. I still think that if you picked him second round as a number one running back, you got to play him every week. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced Amir Abdullah is going to be that great this year. Mainly because there's just theoretics in it as well. So I think theoretics going to get a lot of third round, third down, basically play. So I'm not 100% sure he'll be playing, but
the
you know,
Detroit
works in my
backfield's been
favor.
a
Works in
mess
my
since
favor.
Barry Sanders was out. Since Barry Sanders retired, who knows about the Detroit backfield?
Yeah, well, they gave Stafford all that money too, so he better produce this year.
He's going to throw. But Fournette, it's Tessier, so who knows? His lineup could look
It's true.
completely different tomorrow morning.
Or it could look like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win this, and then somehow for some reason, Henry and Kelly go off, and I lose tragically.
Well, I mean, if I was him, I'd have Fournette in at running back, and I would have Allen Robinson in over Corey Coleman on Cleveland. But who knows?
All right.
It's always Saturday, Tessier. You never know what's going to happen. But I like your chances there. You're off to a good start.
Well,
and
yeah.
You've got a couple of key injuries.
I'm not super solid on my Lenta defense, but I am going to be streaming defenses this year just because everybody freaking lost their minds in the draft and everyone picked the defense. Like by the 10th round, people had defenses, and I just wasn't willing to do it. So there was nothing left that's good. So I'm just gonna stream. All right, moving on to some other people.
Feast mode versus the Romaniacs. So they both had players play on Thursday night. Brady was underwhelming. And then Cooks and Gronkowski for Feast mode. Who is Feast mode?
That's Allen.
Allen. Underwhelmed as well. So it's still a very close match.
Yeah. Right now, I believe the Romaniacs is projected to win by probably about 52%. So it's not a huge, it definitely seems to be a gimme here.
And it doesn't look like there's much injuries going on.
Now, I'm going to make a little point. I know Feastmouth got Benjamin, and I had him last year as one of my receivers who sucked balls. But hopefully this year he's looking a lot better in practice.
He's
so
supposed to be, and
it's going to be
better
pretty
shape,
good.
And Cam's going to be healthier, although Cam's banged up.
And I like his play of Gore. I think Gore is going to have a good, decent, solid season. I mean, Turbin's still his backup over there, so I'm not particularly convinced that he's going to lose that job at any time. I think realistically too, McCoy's going to top 5 performance every year.
If I give you $1 to bet on this match, who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be the Romaniacs. And I'm going to explain why. I just really think that in terms of his receivers, I think Des Bryant's going to have a good game. And then I'm looking forward to seeing Lynch run. I think Lynch and Gordon are really good, solid running backs. I think Lynch is not going to, he's not going to be an every down back. I think definitely there's little cobwebs there, but he's still the beast. You know what I mean? So I'm still pretty optimistic that the Romaniac's going to win. What about you?
Yeah, that sounds about right. We'll see. We'll see you on Sunday. That's what we're here about. All right, let's go to Primetime is Mine and Trump Gender Nation. Defending champ Rob versus perennial player Asher. who had the second pick in the draft, and he took Le'Veon Bell, who's on the franchise tag, and his holdout's over. So all the Pittsburgh players, all the Pittsburgh studs are looking at big games against Cleveland.
So what do you think? Asher's playing McCaffrey and as his second back in Carolina. Now Jonathan Stewart's still getting the first team reps there, though.
Yeah, but everybody's in love with McCaffrey after the preseason. He had a couple dramatic touchdowns, and he's going to get the ball. He's going to get 15 touches a game. So the way he breaks open runs, he's probably good for yardage. We'll see about touchdowns. You're right, though. Jonathan Stewart and Cam, for that matter, are still the goal line options.
It's now San Fran, we can all agree, is really bad, but their defense actually isn't that bad. It's really just their offense. We have no idea what they're going to be doing.
I thought they kind of stunk all around.
I think they stunk all around, but I think their run defense wasn't that bad last year. I think they were definitely better than the Packers' run defense. So, but who knows what it'll look like this year? And then the Packers do have a better chance this year, but.
And looking at Rob's team, I don't really like Rob's team at all.
Well, see, I'm not. I don't care for Sammy Watkins, mainly because who the hell's throwing to Sammy Watkins, right?
Jared Goff is.
Well, I know, but I don't think Jared Goff is very good, and so I'm not very optimistic. In fact, that's kind of why I like my man Gurley there, because I think Gurley's going to run.
Sure.
So, and I think they're going to have to do that.
But they did get Watkins so that Goff would have somebody to throw to. So they're going to try it out for sure.
Stafford's always a solid pick, and AJ Green really good. Devontae Adams, traditionally the Packers' second receiver, which is what Devontae is right now. Usually good for 5 or 6 touchdowns a year, 1,000 yards. So, Devontae's going to be solid. Probably not a star, but a good WR2.
And Rob's one of the people, too, with the Irma.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get to play Winston. I look for him by tomorrow game time, subbing in Tom Rawls for the Seahawks over Derrick Henry.
Can we just talk about how many running backs from Seattle that Rob owns?
He's got all the running backs except for the kid that I have. So it was announced this week that Rawls and Lacey are going to split number 1 carries. I'm sure once the game starts, Rawls will get most of the action. I'd probably put Rawls in for Derrick Henry.
Well, I think so, but I also think Lacey's going to get a lot of the goal line stuff because he's still a bit of a battering ram. So, it's going to be tough. It's going to be like the New England situation where you don't really know which back you want to play. And I feel Rob is in a tight spot because Proisy during the preseason was actually the best of all of them. So, and then he got hurt, and now he's not even starting.
The guy I have was the best of all.
Yeah, but he's a rookie. I mean, I know there's the Zeke Elliott's of the world, but I'm always very wary of running backs, the rookie running backs. So
we'll see about that one. I like Asher's chances there. So let's look at the next one. Cup of Kool-Aid, Steamin' Willie Beeman, Squire-related matchup, and then Asher put the big 40 burger up there. So Alan's in the hole, shall we say. He had 9 points from his kicker, which isn't bad, but Ashley all of a sudden after that 40 points is on pace for 123 versus 96. So it looks a little grim. Alan's got Kirk Cousins, who everybody makes fun of, but Rob had him as quarterback to win last year, which was impressive. So he's solid there. He could have Jameson Crowder hook up there, and of course he's got Zeke Elliott playing. So
yeah, you can't count him out. And Crowell is not a great running back, but he gets a touchdown every game. Like you got 10 points there, guaranteed almost every game with Crowell. So
not much else to say about this matchup, and especially with a 40-9 lead.
No, what's more interesting
about Ashley's chances?
What's more interesting about Steamin' Willie Beeman is actually his bench, holding 2 defenses. So and also he's got Burkhead. So I wonder if he's going to drop Burkhead at any time. I mean, he did auto draft those last picks.
I would think Burkhead.
So
yeah, if you watch the end of the game, he's just not going to get the ball enough. Really, if you're not.
I mean, it's such a whack-a-mole, right? It's hit and miss. He may have a game where he's playing get 35 points, but you got to guess which game he's actually playing at. So who do you think? Right now, the projection is Ashley's overwhelmingly projected to win by 80%. What do you think as well? You think Ashley's going to kill it? Yeah, I like her team. I like her tight end. I like her receiver. She's got 2 of the best receivers in the league.
You can't start in the hole like that.
So, in fact, that would have been like Kareem Hunt would have been to me the weaker player on the team, and he killed it. So I think it's going to be a massacre there. Unfortunately for Alon. Sorry about that.
Sure. Let's head to Bantu versus Evan. 45-0. So it's looking very good for Bantu. He had solid games by Tyke Hill and
Now he's
Gillisley.
also projected to win by about 75% at this point.
Yeah.
But he's got solid players coming down the pipe there with the Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so it's
And
something
then
weird would have to happen
David,
for Bantu to
and he's
leave.
got David Johnson. I mean, those two players alone are going to put together probably a good solid 25
He's going to
points
have a
each.
crazy point week. Evans in a big hole. Evans got a
But
good
you
team,
know,
but
that said, he's lucky that because I don't love his tight end, and I'm always very weary of Emmanuel Sanders, which I also think is a great player. But again, I don't love Simeon, and you know he's the second guy on a team that you know is not necessarily great offensively. So be interesting.
But it's not going to matter. I mean, he's going to win.
Oh no, and
Hill,
then
Gillisley, David Johnson, and Rodgers might be enough points for him to.
I think I concur, and I do think that you know the M Thomas is a good pick. Devontae is going to get him some good points. I'm not sold on the Ty Montgomery. As a Packers fan, it's probably the team I know the most about, and they're very optimistic about Montgomery. But Montgomery has a huge weakness, which he's terrible. He's terrible at blocking because he's a receiver, so he's not accustomed to having to pick up the block. And on passing plays, of course. And that's a problem because Aaron Rodgers is obviously the most important player on the field. And they're going to be really worried about playing a guy that might, you know, miss a block and Aaron Rodgers gets sacked and hurt and concussed. So my suspicion is they're going to play Montgomery until he really misses a significant block. And then I think we're going to see Jamal Williams a little bit more. He's been working on that aspect of his game, and he's doing quite well. So good chance that if you see Williams in there, it's probably going to be a passing down. But that said, you know, Montgomery, we don't know. It's a toss-up.
Montgomery could very quickly end up on Evans' bench. He's got Joe Mixon, who could be very good. And then he's also going to get Doug Martin back from suspension in a few weeks. And he's probably good. No, the Tampa didn't upgrade at all. They're playing Jaquiz there for a few weeks, and then Doug Martin will be back, and he'll probably be RB2 at least. So Evans probably fine. Now, running back, but not this week.
Now he's playing Carr instead of Eli. Is that what you do?
Dallas's defense is very good. I don't know. Without knowing if Beckham's playing or not, I'd probably go with Carr. If I know for sure Beckham's going to play, I'd stick Eli in.
I think Tennessee's defense is underrated, and I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout in Oakland. I myself had the Tennessee defense, and I dropped them because I was a little bit worried about that. But I think it's going to be a shootout Dallas Giants games because those usually are.
Sure.
So I think Eli's in for sort of a big game, with or without Odell. That whole team is pretty stacked right now. So I totally understand, but I would probably have played Eli in this particular scenario.
But it's really not going to matter because Bantu's up to such an early lead that I think
it's unlikely.
Evan's screwed anyway. All right, last matchup we'll look at. It's me, better than Goodell, against Paul Biner at the 2. It's looking like a rather even matchup.
Yeah, I think you're projected to win by about 5% only.
I'm really counting on Antonio Brown and Mariota, some of my earlier picks. I was hoping to get some run out of McFadden, but now I'm going to have to play Tevin Coleman. Should be fine. He always seems to get touchdowns, even though he's the number 2 behind Freeman.
Now, it's an interesting point that you put Jimmy Graham. I find his estimate for Jimmy Graham points 10.5. That's surprising to me. The Packers' defense is their secondary is particularly crappy, but they do have actually good safety. In fact, that's like is probably the only thing they have on their defense right now. That's quite good.
And then Paul's team, he's got Breeze. That's always scary to go against. He's got Jordy Nelson.
Well, I think Paul's team is solid all around. I can't really. Of everyone's saying, I don't see any real weakness. I mean, maybe his flex is a little weak, but you know, fairness. I mean, he's got 2 solid receivers. I mean, Drew Brees. You can't go wrong with Drew Brees. It is going against Minnesota, and as I've warned Paul before, Brees can get off to a slow start, but you know, a slow start for Brees is 19 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson's solid. You know, Jordy Nelson doesn't play on the same side as Sherman, which is very important, which is why he should have a big game. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw where Richard Sherman is. He just doesn't do it. So that's going to help out. Fitzgerald, well, who knows? Who the hell knows if Carson Palmer is going to be a winner? But on the upside, Larry Fitzgerald was voted the most likable NFL player.
Sure, that's going to put the points on the board.
No, it's not going to put the points on the board, but it's a nice statement that he's nice.
But, I mean, when it comes to our prediction, of course we're going to predict that I'm going to win this match. And I'm going to go to 1-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that I think Paul's gonna win this match. Sweetie,
Thanks.
I love my husband, but his team is pretty stacked, and you've got a couple of holes that I'm not crazy about your running backs.
Well, we'll see.
Okay, so to sum up, we're going to just give you what our picks are for the league, and we'll sort of keep a running tally. So for week 1, in the first matchup, basically the DeBrickashaws versus the Huddles, I'm voting for the DeBrickashaws myself. And John, who do you think is going to win?
I'll take the DeBrickashaws.
Great. And then in the next matchup, the Romaniacs versus Feast Mode. I'm picking the Romaniacs. You?
Me too, yeah.
All right.
So far, it's pretty boring. Same.
Next one is the Primetime. Primetime is mine versus Trump Gender Nation, and I've got Trump Gender Nation as the winner.
We'll differ here. I don't like Rob's team. I'm going Primetime is mine.
Okay. The next matchup is Cup of Kool-Aid versus Steaming Willie Beeman. Cup of Kool-Aid already leading significantly, and she is my pick. They are my pick to win.
It's going to be hard for Ashley to blow this.
Okay. Next one is Hey You Get Off My Cloud versus Johnny Utah. Same situation, and I think we both got Hey You Get Off My Cloud as the eventual winner. And then the final match, of course, is the one that you're in. So Better Than Goodell versus Biner at the 2, and I've got Biner at the 2.
I'm going to win. Better than Goodell.
All right, let's see how we do. That about wraps up our week 1 podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. The 2 hosts were John Downey and Lisa Paracella. Produced and edited by Lisa Paracella. And music by www.bensound.com. Thank you.